Hi guys. So this week we are talking about suicide. This is always the thing about being later in the week. There's probably, in terms of like practical advice and things like that, not a lot that I can say that I haven't sort of totally agreed with that everybody else has said. We all know the statistics. Suicide, particularly for trans people, is like our biggest killer. I think maybe you'd be hard pressed to find a trans person who at least on some level doesn't kind of understand that. This is coming for me at a really weird time. This week has been a really hard one. I'm not sure why, except I don't think that there sometimes has to be a why. I think sometimes that you can just be sort of exhausted and have had enough and be feeling kind of fragile. And I'm feeling kind of fragile right now. So talking about this stuff, it kind of makes me want to cry. You know, suicide in one respect is such a general topic for something, whereas there are specificities to these things. Dysphoria is a huge issue. And you can't just take it off and not wear it and not, you know, you can't decide that today you don't feel like you want it to affect you because you never want it to. Like I said, this week is a really weird one for me. I don't feel particularly well. We all have weeks. We all have weeks where your body is not your friend and everything else just feels kind of wrong. Self-care is one of those things that I've rabbited on about. Like, I think this is like the third or fourth time I've mentioned it, and it's this process that I'm not great at, but I'm getting better with. And part of self-care is just genuinely about treating yourself well. So if you're feeling crappy, do things that will make you feel nicer. Fresh air. Honestly, the difference that maybe just going outside and taking a deep breath, that can be really helpful. On the flip side, nesting. You know, change your bedclothes, put something nice on, force yourself with like the last bits of energy that you have, and then get Netflix and curl up and just do that. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter if it's like 17 bars of chocolate and make you feel better. You don't have to justify or validate what you're doing or how it makes you feel if it makes you feel better. But don't confuse drugs and alcohol and drink and getting out of your mind that way with the same thing as self-care. I'm not saying don't do it, and I'm not judging you for doing it, of course not. You know, you've all seen me in a hangover state. But be aware that that's what you're doing and don't maybe let that pattern take over. I think this became more about like general mental health, but you know, that is something that I feel like a lot of us have such a fingertip touch to, and that it's so easy to like fall off the wagon kind of, and you'd be completely fine one day and then all of a sudden you're really not fine. And part of I think the duty in the good days is to make sure that when you're on a really crappy day, when things are really terrible, that you have a place to go, that you have something that you can help, that you have a support system and a support, even if your support network is yourself. I'm big on making emergency kits, actually. An emergency kit is quite literally what it sounds like. It's a little, like, it doesn't have to be a physical thing. It can be a physical thing, like if you are rewarded by tactile things, which can be really good. But it's a box, and in the box you put in all of the stuff that makes you feel anything that's not bad. So it could be, you know, like a teddy bear, it could be something that smells nice, it could be a chocolate bar, it could be a favourite book, it could be a pass, it could be anything. You can put anything in your emergency kit. But the thing about your emergency kit is that it's there when you need it, and it's one of those like in case of emergency break glass situations where you'll know when you need it. They can be a thing that can be really helpful. Somebody told me about them and I'd never heard about them, and then they've become, I think maybe sometimes quite a literal lifesaver. And at this point I have them for different moods. I have them when different things kind of strike. So there'll be a favourite book of poetry in there, and a favourite film, and a favourite, like I put a tea bag in mine, but it'll be like a tea bag of a kind of herbal tea or something that I know really soothes me. I really like Love Tea. Don't know if you've ever had it, but I love the name. It's from like Pucker. I love the name, I love the taste. It's all kind of herbally, but not in a weird, gross way. You know, I'll put in things like a t-shirt from Milo because it makes me laugh when Miles wears clothes. And then I have a range of links and websites and stuff. I'm one of those people where if I'm in a complete slump, then I really need to do something to get me out of it. So I might like look for a new journal or a new way of planning things, or sit down and do a whole lot of like organising of stuff. Sometimes I just want to fold clothes. So then I'll fold clothes, or I'll plan how I want to change my bedroom around, or they don't even have to be things that you're going to act on. You know, I'll buy like my dream home. I mean, I won't buy it, but these kind of distraction techniques, because it's what you've got to do, I think, sometimes. It's hard. I know it's hard. And it's a little bit terrifying sometimes. And so I'm like, I think maybe the thing to say is that, like, it gets better, but it doesn't necessarily get easier. Just because you're older doesn't mean that it's going to necessarily go away. But I got to tell you, from this side of it, I would not be here for anything. And that's through all of the things that have been hard and terrible, and all of the things that have been wonderful and great. I stuck with the program, and I'm still here. I don't regret that. And I think even on my darkest days, I don't. And so I guess that's the only thing that I can ask of you, is that if you ever get to a point where you're feeling like that you stick with it. Give yourself a break. Allow yourself to feel how you feel. Take away all of the things that toxic people say, and good people can be toxic for you at certain times. Trust when you need to be out of a situation that you need to be out of it, and leave. You don't owe answers to anybody. You don't owe anything to anybody. Be respectful, but that doesn't mean that you have to put up with somebody else's shit. And I know that having to wait for things is shit. And I know that feeling like you're stuck in a body that doesn't belong to you is just... But you're more than that. You're more than the time you have to wait. And you're more than the feelings of being shitty. And these are things I have to tell myself, you know. I can't pretend like I'm telling you from a place where I've got it all figured out, because this week, me, myself, and I have been having a lot of conversations about this. But you're going to be okay. If you're not okay, that's okay too, but talk to somebody. Don't feel like you've got to shoulder this by yourself. You are no burden to anybody. Talking to people about it does not turn you into like anything other than a really strong person doing a really cool thing. I feel like that was a bit after school special. My biggest recommendation is an emergency kit. Get an emergency kit, gather it together, look at other people's emergency kits. I think it might be cool, like if you guys want to do it, let's turn it into like a Tumblr tag, and then you can share, and you can borrow from somebody else's emergency kit, and you can find things, and that would be cool. I think that would be really awesome if we did that. So if you're having the worst day and you don't have one, or you don't feel ready, or it's not working, then know that other people are out there, and we've all got our emergency kits, and we're all sharing them, because we all give a shit. For all of the infighting and all of the stupid things that people can say to each other on the internet, I do believe that the majority of everybody cares about somebody else. And let's have that bit be the important bit and the winning bit, because we've lost too many shining bright stars, and we have gone through too much, and that can't be the legacy that we have. We are too important for that. We're too important for that as a group of people. We deserve the right to be fulfilled and happy. It's just how I feel. Can't promise any quick fixes, but maybe just a helping hand. Bye, guys.